Okay, hi everyone. We started the multi-threading concept. So within this, we studied the basics of multi-threading. What is multi-threading? What is process-based, thread-based? Okay, what is multi-threading in single serial? What is context switching, polling, and event loop? So what is the benefit of multi-threading? So we have studied this up to Java thread model we studied. So okay, we'll discuss the next point to creating a thread. Okay, how to create a thread. Okay, there are two ways of creating a thread. The first one is we implement the runnable interface, and the second one is we extend class thread. We create a thread by using, there are two ways. The first one is by implementing the runnable interface, and the second is by extending a thread class. Okay, see here we'll discuss how to create a thread by implementing the runnable interface. Okay, here construct a thread on any object that implements a runnable interface. Okay, this is that means here construct a thread means you create a thread on any object that implements enable. For example, we created one class or we declared one class. Okay, we declare the one class which is implementing a runnable interface. The class which is implementing runnable interface, we can create a thread on that particular class. We can create a thread on that particular class object. So that is the meaning of the first point. Construct a thread on any object that implements runnable interface. Okay, now to implement runnable, a class need only implement a single method called as a run. Okay, so once you implement runnable interface, see the basic, we'll see an example how to create it. Just remember, if any class is implementing runnable interface, so we are creating a thread on that particular object. We are constructing a thread on that particular class object. Okay, so now anyhow we implement a runnable interface. So the next step is to implement runnable. A class need only implement a single method called as a run. So run is called as the starting point of a thread. Run method, see the run method is called as the starting point of a thread. So whatever the code the thread should execute are enclosed within a run method. Okay, or we are writing a code which is going to be executed by the thread, that those all codes are written within a run method. Okay, so the syntax, the return type, here we can see here the public void run. See the access specifier is public, and the return type is void and run. So it is thread class method, thread class standard method, or a thread class package, the thread package method. This void run method is declared within a thread package. Okay, now define the code that constitute the new thread. So it consists all the code that constitute a new thread means see the whatever the codes we write within a run method, those are called as a the thread code means what that particular thread should perform. Those all codes are written within a run method. Okay, now the third point, that run can call other methods, use other classes, or declare variables, or just like a main thread. See the point here is it can call any other method within a run method. You can call any other methods, or you can use other classes. You can create an object of any classes or declare variables just like a main thread. Okay, now the run establishes the entry point for another. Okay, the run method is an entry point. So as I said, the run is an entry point to the thread, entry point for another or concurrent thread of execution within your program. Means the run establish an entry point, mean the starting point, or here that run method is called as a starting point of your thread. Okay, now once this run method is called, your thread gets started. Means the actual entry point is a run method. Once you start once you call a run method, or for example, once you start your start your thread, then the run method is implicitly called and your thread has been started execution, means it's an entry point. Run is an entry point. Okay, next a thread will end when run returns, means now once your run method is completed its execution, means the code which is written within a run method is completely executed, means see once it returns, means the code within a run method completes its execution. So all the codes completed its execution, then we can say that the thread will end, means the run method code is executed, now the thread is going to be ended, means the thread ends when run returns. Okay, when run method returns. Okay, next is after you create a class that implements runnable instantiation. There is a difference between while creating a thread and by using runnable interface, and while created thread by using extending a class. Okay, there is a difference. So the first difference here, after you create a class that implements a runnable, so you should instantiate object of that type thread from within that class. So we'll see an example how what is the difference. But just remember, instantiate an object of type thread from within that class. From within that class means the class which is implementing runnable interface. You should instantiate. You should create an object of that thread. Okay. Now the thread defines several constructors. Okay, so what does we create an object of that particular class and we are passing within a thread constructor. We are passing that object within a thread constructors. Now thread defines several constructors. So just remember this. See this thread. Now this thread constructor, we are passing two arguments. Here is the runnable thread object. This is a thread object. Runnable thread object means the class which is implementing runnable interface. That is this thread object is nothing but the class object of a class which is implementing runnable interface. Now a string thread name. String thread name is anything you can specify. Any name you want to specify to that particular thread. Now here within this point, thread object is an instance of a class that implements runnable interface. Next, the name of the new thread specified by the thread name. Okay, just remember within this constructor thread we passing two arguments. The first one is runnable, the instance variable of a class. The second is thread name. Okay, now after the new thread is created, it will not start running until you call its start method. Okay. Now once you have you have gone through everything, every steps, like you implemented, you created you declared a class which you defined a class which is implementing runnable interface, and you overwritten a run method. You have written a code within a run method. But this is the next step is within the main method or within a main thread. You should to start any thread, you should call the start method of start method. See, the start method is start method is present within a thread class. Okay, this is start method, the standard method. Now start executes a call to run method, means once you call the start method with that particular thread, once you call the start method with that particular thread, now the actual execution starts. So execution start means the run method implicitly automatically the run method is called, means the run method is executed. So the start is called as a entry point. The run is called as an entry point. So once you call the start method with respect to that particular object, this run method is implicitly called. Next, so because a run is an entry point or starting point of a thread. Okay, now we'll see an example how this works. See, within this example, see, thread runnable example. Here we created a class called as a class. We declared a class class, the name of the class is thread demo, which implements the runnable interface, okay. Now here what happens, within a try block, we use try block because we are calling within this run method we are calling the sleep method, okay. So the sleep method may throw an exception of interpret exception, okay, may throw or may not be through, but this is the best way. So whenever you are calling the sleep method or any thread related methods, okay, so we should have these codes within a try and catch blocks. So you already know what is the use of try and catch blocks, okay. So now within this thread demo class, which is implementing runnable interface, okay, now we overridden the run method, and here we are just printing numbers from 0 to 51, okay, 0 to 50. So just I declared 0 to 50 means 0 to, it prints 0 to 50, okay. This thread dot sleep, so we know what is the use of sleep method. Sleep method sleeps the thread, means it enters whenever we call the sleep method, it enters in a waiting state and sleep 1000 milliseconds, okay. Now so this is all about the run method. We are just printing the numbers. You may have any codes, you can write any codes, okay, but just I am printing the number from 0 to 50. Next just I am specifying here the thread should sleep 1000 milliseconds, okay. Now we are catching exception, that is interpret exception. We're just printing the object, okay. Now coming to the main class, see here public class demo. So now this demo is a public class because here this class consists of main method, here public static void main. So now here the main important thing here, see there is a difference, as I said, there is a difference while starting a thread. When you use the runnable interface, so there is one the steps are different, the procedure is different to start when we create a thread by using runnable interface. But in case of extending a thread class, the steps are different, okay. Here in case we see this thread demo is the class which is implementing runnable interface, and this class consists a run method, okay. Now we created an object of thread demo because this is the class which is implementing runnable interface. Now the object name is td, okay, the object name is td. Now here we created one more object of a class thread. Now this thread is a standard thread class. This thread is a standard thread class. We created an object called as a t. Now this t is the object of a thread class. We are passing two arguments here. We are passing two arguments. We can see here, as I said, see this thread constructor takes two arguments. The first one is a runnable thread object and the second is a string name. So, okay. So similar way here we are passing td. td is a runnable thread object, or indirectly it is a td is a runnable object. Why? Because this thread demo is implementing runnable interface. That is why this is indirectly a instance variable of a runnable, okay. Now this is the first thread. This is the name of a thread. This is the name of a thread. Name of a thread means this is the name given to this particular thread, okay, td. Now t dot start, okay. Once you call this start method, and the thread starts its execution, okay. Now once you call this method start method, the actual so now the thread starts execution. Thread starts execution means where is its entry point? Its entry point is run method, okay. Its entry point is a run method. Once this execution over, once the method is called, that the thread starts its execution, and once this the codes within a run method gets executed, then the thread it's now after execution of a thread, see the run the code within a run method, once its execution gets over, then we can say that the threads ends. Thread ends. Okay, so this is all about how to create a thread by using runnable interface. So we'll see one more method how to create a thread by using by extending thread class.